Hello and welcome to my science tutorials. In today's video, we want to look at how to solve linear simultaneous equations. Now, simultaneous equations are equations that have multiple variables. They may have 2 or 3 variables that are unknown to us. So we'll have to solve them simultaneously or together to find the values of those variables. Now, there are 2 ways of solving simultaneous equations. We have one method we call the elimination method, and then we have another method we call the substitution method. But for the sake of today's video, we'll be looking at the elimination method, and in the subsequent one, we'll be looking at the substitution method. All right, so let's try an example. So say we have 6h plus d is equal to 40 as our equation 1, and then we have 4h plus 3d is equal to 36 as our equation 2, and we have to solve these 2 equations using the elimination method. Now, when you are using the elimination method, what you need to do is you need to multiply your equations, equation 1, equation 2, by a number or a value. You do that with the sense that you want to get one of these unknown variables to be the same so that you can cancel out and you find the other. So for instance, I can decide to make the value of h and h here the same so that they will cancel each other out if I subtract them, and then it will be only left with d, and I can find my d first. Or I can decide to make d and d the same and then I cancel them out. So for this particular example, I'm going to make d here the same. So what I will do is I will multiply equation 1 by 3. Then I multiply equation 2 by 1. I'm multiplying equation 1 by 3 because I want to make the d here to be 3d. And then I'm multiplying equation 1 because I want to still maintain this so that I can cancel the 3d out. So if I multiply equation 1 by 3, I'm going to get 3 multiplied by 6 will give me 18h here plus 3d is equal to 3 multiplied by 40 will give me 120. So you can say this is my equation 4. Then I multiply this equation 2 by 1, is still going to be the same. So I have 4h plus 3d is equal to 36. Now what you do is, you can say this is equation 5. What you do is you subtract this equation. So you can say equation 4 minus equation 5. Okay, so that is what you do over here. So you are going to have 18h plus 3d is equal to 120 minus 4h plus 3d is equal to 36. So what do we get over here? Now, 18h minus 4h will give us 14h. This will give us 14h over here. So this will give us 14h. Then plus 3d minus 3d will give us 0. So we have 0 here is equal to 120 minus 36 will give me 84 as my answer. So I have here 14h is equal to 84. To make h the subject, I divide both sides by 14. Therefore, my h becomes 84 on 14, that will give me 6. Now that I have my value of h to the 6, I can put h back into either equation 1, 2, 3, or 4 to get the value for d. So putting h is equal to 6 into equation 1 to get the value of my d, I have 6h plus d is equal to 40. That means I have 6 multiplied by 6 plus d equals 40. So my d becomes 40 minus 6 multiplied by 6 will give me 36. I bring it here, it becomes negative, so minus 36. And so my d is equal to 40 minus 36, and that will give me 4. So the value of my d is 4, and then the value of h is 6 as seen over here. Right, so let's have a look at another example. So we have to solve the following equations, equation 1 and 2, using the method of elimination. So we have 1, 3x plus 5y is equal to 12. This is our equation 1. Then we have 2x minus 6y is equal to minus 20. That's our equation 2. Then we have II. We have x plus 4y is equal to 16. And then 3x plus 5y is equal to 20. This is equation 1, our equation 2. Alright, so let's solve the first example using the elimination method. So if I look through my equation 1 and equation 2, I realize that I can try and cancel out the x first so that I find y and I do the substitution back to get my x. So I will decide to say multiply equation 1 by 2 because I want to make this guy 6. Then I multiply equation 2 by 3 to also make it 6. So if I multiply equation 1 by 2, I'm going to have 6x plus 10y is equal to 24. You can make this your equation 3. And then I can say 2x minus 6y is equal to 20. I need to multiply by 3. So if I do that, I'll get 6x. 3 multiplied by 6 will give me 18y is equal to 3 multiplied by 20 will give me negative 60 over here. So this becomes my equation 4. From here, I can see, let me have, okay, so equation 3 minus equation 4. So that will give me 6x plus 10y is equal to 24 minus 6x minus 18y is equal to negative 60. Right. So 6x minus 6x will give me 0x, so it is 0. So I can leave that. Now 10y minus minus 18 becomes 10y plus 18, and that will give me 28y is equal to 24 minus 60. This 24 here minus this minus 60. So it becomes 24 plus 60. That 24 plus 60 will give me 84. So I can divide both sides by 28, and then this will give me y value, which is equal to 3. 84 divided by 28 will give me 3. So putting y equals 3 into equation 1. Okay, you can put it into equation 2, equation 1, equation 3, or equation 4, any of them. So if I do that, I have 3x plus 5 multiplied by 3 is equal to 12. So I have here 3x is equal to 12. 5 multiplied by 3 is 15. Bring it here, it becomes negative, so minus 15. So 3x is equal to 12 minus 15 will give me negative 3. So the value of my x, so I divide both sides by 3x is equal to minus 3. Divide both sides by 3 by 3. My x is equal to negative 1. So it means that the value of my y is 3, the value of my x is negative 1. Alright, so let's go ahead and solve the second aspect of this equation. So let me quickly erase. Alright, so for II, we have x plus 4y is equal to 16 as our equation 1. Then we have 3x plus 5y is equal to 20 as our equation 2. Now, I see that if I multiply equation 1 by 3 and this by 1, I will get 3x, 3s here. I can cancel easily. So I do that. So I multiply equation 1 by 3 and I multiply equation 2 by 1. So if I do that, I'm going to have 3 multiplied by x will give me 3x plus 3 multiplied by 4 will give me 12y is equal to 3 multiplied by 16 will give me 48. If I use 1 to multiply everything here, I'll still get 3x plus 5y is equal to 20. Now all I need to do is to subtract. Okay, let me say this is equation 3, equation 4. So I can subtract equation 4 from equation. I can subtract equation 4 from equation 1. So let me do that. So if I do that, I'll get 3x minus 3x will give me 0x here. Then I have 12 minus 5y will give me, this will give me plus 7y is equal to, I have 48 minus 20 and that will give me 28. So it means I have 7y is equal to 28. I divide both sides by 7. I have my value of y to be equal to 4. Now putting y equals 4 into, let me put it into equation 2 this time around, I'll get, over here we have 3x plus 5y, this is 4, is equal to positive 20. So we have 3x plus 20 here is equal to 20, and this implies that we have 3s is equal to this 20 here minus this 20, because we are sending it to the other side of the equal to sign. So we have 3x is equal to 0. We divide both sides by 3. We have x is equal to 0. So it means that my x is 0 and then my y is equal to 4. So this is how we solve simultaneous equation by the method of elimination. Now in the next video, we'll be looking at how to solve simultaneous equation using the substitution method. Hello and welcome to my science tutorials. In today's video, we want to look at how to solve linear simultaneous equations by the method of substitution. So let's start with an example. Say we have 6h plus d is equal to 40 as our equation 1, and then we have 4h plus 3d is equal to 36 as our equation 2. If we are to solve this simultaneous equation using the method of substitution, this is what we do. So we take any of the equation, whether equation 1 or equation 2, try to make one of the variables the subject and substitute it into the next equation to get your answer. So in this case, I'm going to say making d, this d here, the subject in equation 1. So making d the subject in equation 1. So I want to make d the subject here. So I have 6h plus d is equal to 40. It means my d is equal to 40 minus 6h. So this becomes my subject after making d the subject. So let me name this equation 3. So I can say putting equation or substituting equation 3 into equation 2. Please, after you've made d the subject in equation 1, don't substitute it back into equation 1. Substitute it into the next equation. So I'm substituting it into equation 2 over here. So I have 4h plus 3 into bracket 40 minus 6h is equal to 36 over here. So from here I have 4h plus 3 multiplied by 40 will give me 120 minus 3 multiplied by 6 will give me 18h. This is equal to 36. So I have here 4h minus 18h is equal to this. So let me maintain the 120 here. So 120, I bring this side to the other side, so it becomes minus 36 is equal to, I send the h to the other side of the equal to sign. So I have 18h here minus this guy, which is 4h. So from here I have 120 minus 36 will give me 84 is equal to 18h minus 4h will give me 14h. So I divide both sides by 14 to make my h stand alone. So the value of my h is now equal to 84 minus 14 is equal to 6. Now that I have the value of h, I can substitute it into any of these equations, whether equation 1, 2, or 3. but I'm going to substitute it into equation 3 since it already has d as the subject. So putting back h equals 6 into equation 3. So it means my d will be equal to 40 minus 6 multiplied by 6 as the value of h. So my d is equal to 40 minus 6 times 6 will give me 36. And so therefore my value of d is 40 minus 36, and that will give me the answer 4. So my h is equal to 6, my d is equal to 4. Now if you substitute these values back into this equation, that is h equals 6 and d equal to 4, you are going to get these answers for each of the equations. Alright, so let's proceed to look at more examples. So we have to solve the following equations by the method of substitution. So we have 3x plus 5y is equal to 12, our equation 1. And then we have 2x minus 6y is equal to negative 20 as our equation 2. Alright, so let's look at that. Now the first thing I want to do is to make this x the subject in equation 1. So making x the subject in equation 1. So by making x the subject here, I have 3x plus 5y is equal to 12. So it means I have 3x is equal to, I send the 5y to the other side of the equal to sign. So I have here 12 minus 5y. To make my x stand alone, I divide both sides by 3. So my x is now equal to 12 minus 5y on 3. So this expression becomes my equation 3. So putting equation 3, which is this new equation, into the second equation over here, into equation 2, I'll have the expression 2 into bracket. Now my x is 12 minus 5y on 3. Then minus 6y is equal to minus 20. Alright, so from here, what I will do is I will expand this bracket first. So 2 multiplied by 12 will give me 24. Then 2 multiplied by 5 will give me 10y, all on 3, minus 6y is equal to minus 20. Now we still have a fraction over here, so I'm going to multiply through by 3. If I do that, I have 3 multiplied by 24 minus 10y on 3 minus 3 multiplied by 6y is equal to minus 20 multiplied by 3. This will cancel this, so I have 24 minus 10y minus 3 multiplied by 6 will give me 18y is equal to minus 20 multiplied by 3 will give me minus 60. Alright, so from here, I have here minus 10y minus 18y. So this will give me minus 28y is equal to minus 60. I send the 24 to the other side of the equal to sign, it becomes minus 24. So I have minus 28y is equal to minus 60 minus 24 will give me minus 84. So I divide both sides by minus 28. Minus 28, the negative cancel the negative, this cancel this. So my y is equal to the negative cancel this. 84 on 28 will give me the value 3. So it means that my y is equal to 3. Now substituting or putting y equals 3 into equation 3 here to get the x is into equation 3, I'm going to have my x to be equal to 12 minus 5 into bracket 3 all on 3. So my x will be equal to 12 minus 5 multiplied by 3 is 15 on 3, and 12 minus 15 is negative 3 on 3, and x will be equal to negative 1. So it means that the value of my y is 3, the value of my x is negative 1. Alright, let's go ahead and look at another example. So we have x plus 4y is equal to 16, and then 3x plus 5y is equal to 20. So let me make this my equation 1, this my equation 2. Alright, so from here I realize that making x the subject in equation 1 is super easy. So I'm going to say make x the subject in equation 1. Now if you don't know how to make a variable the subject, I'll leave the link in the description of the video for a change of subject where you know how to make a variable the subject of an equation. So from here I have x plus 4y is equal to 16. So I can leave my x here, and this is equal to 16. I send this guy to the other side, becomes minus 4y. So this becomes my subject. After making x the subject, this becomes my expression. So this, I'll name it equation 3. Alright, so from here I can say substitute. Let me use substitute now. Substitute equation 3 into equation 2. Now if I do that substitution, I have 3 into bracket the x, which is 16 minus 4y plus 5y is equal to 20. Now 3 multiplied by 16 will give me 48. 3 multiplied by 4 will give me 12y plus 5y is equal to 20. So I have over here 48. Then I bring the 20 to this side, it becomes minus 20 is equal to, I send the y coordinates to the other side, so it becomes 12y minus 5y. So over here I have 48 minus 20 will give me 28. This is equal to 12y minus 5y will give me 7y. So I divide both sides by 7. So my y is equal to 28 on 7 will give me the value of 4. Now, putting back y is equal to 4 into equation 3, I have x is equal to 16 minus 4 into bracket y value, which is now 4. I have x is equal to 16 minus 4 multiplied by 4 is 16. So my x is equal to 16 minus 16 will give me a value of 0. So my x is 0, my y is 4. And you can see that if we substitute this guy back, x, which is 0, plus 4 multiplied by 4 will give me 16. And then 3 multiplied by 0 is 0, plus 5 multiplied by 4 is 20. So that is the 20 we have over here. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. Hello and welcome to my science tutorials. In today's video, we want to look at how to solve non-linear simultaneous equations. So let's begin. So what is the difference between a linear simultaneous equation and non-linear simultaneous equation? Now, for a linear simultaneous equation, say in the form of x and y, we have the equation expressed, let's say 7x plus 2y is equal to, let's say, 11. So this is a linear simultaneous equation because we can see we have two variables, x and y, and then a constant term in this equation. Now they are not raised to any power, so we call them linear simultaneous equation. Now for a non-linear equation, we are having, let's say, something like 7x squared plus 2y is equal to 11. The moment we have one of the variables raised to a power, then it becomes a non-linear simultaneous equation. So assuming we are given let's say 7x plus 2y is equal to 11, and 7x squared plus 2y is equal to, let's say, 14 as an equation to solve, we need to solve this. Because we are solving these two equations, it becomes a simultaneous equation where it is a non-linear simultaneous equation. It's a non-linear because the second equation has an s squared term. Because it has an s squared term, if we want to solve this equation, we need to solve it via the substitution method. Of solving simultaneous equations. So we need to use the substitution method. Right, so let's have a look at some examples to appreciate what we are talking about. So say we have x plus 2y is equal to 7 as equation 1, and then we have another equation, x squared plus y squared is equal to 10 as our equation 2. How do we solve these two equations to find the value of x and y? Right, so from here, using the substitution method, the first thing we do is to make one of the variables the subject. And I will do that by making x the subject in equation 1. So I'm going to say making x the subject in equation 1. So if I make x the subject over here, I'm going to have x is equal to 7. Then I bring the 2y to the other side of the equal to sign, it becomes minus 2y. So from here, I'll say substitute x into equation 2. Okay, so it means wherever I see x, I should place 7 minus 2y in there. So I have here 7 minus 2y in place of the x here, and I squared it, plus y squared is equal to 10. Okay, so from here, I can expand this bracket, and then I solve for my y. So from here, I can bring 7 out, then into bracket 7 minus 2y. Okay, so let me not jump that step. Let me take it one after the other. So from here, it means I have this bracket, the content in the bracket twice. So I have into bracket 7 minus 2y multiplied by 7 minus 2y plus y squared is equal to 10. So I can now use the content over here to multiply the content over here. So I use the 7 first, 7 into bracket 7 minus 2y. Then I have the second term over here, minus 2y. I use it to multiply this, so 7 minus 2y again, plus y squared, this y squared is equal to 10. Alright, so 7 multiplied by 7 will give me 49, minus 7 multiplied by 2 will give me 14y, minus here will also give me 14y, then here will give me plus 4y squared, plus another y squared is equal to 10. So from here, I have 49 minus 14y minus 14y will give me minus 28y. So I have minus 28y here. Then plus, I have 4y squared and then y squared, that will give me 5y squared is equal to 10. Okay, so from here, I can see that I have y squared, y, and a constant, another constant. So I need to group items. So I'm going to rewrite this whole equation, bring in 5y first. So I have 5y squared minus 28y plus the 49 here. Then I bring the 10 over here to this side of the equal to sign, so it becomes minus 10 is equal to 0. So I have 5y squared minus 28y plus 49 minus 10 will give me 39. So over here I have 39. So plus 39 is equal to 0. So we can see that we have this equation is what we call a quadratic equation. This is a quadratic equation. So from this quadratic equation, I need to solve it by method of factorization, and then I find my values of y. So I use the coefficient of, to solve quadratic equation, you use the coefficient of the y squared term over here, which is 5 over here, to multiply the constant. So 5 multiplied by 39 will give me 195. Now, which two numbers will I multiply to get 195 but add to get negative 28? So negative 15, negative 13 will do that. Negative 15 multiplied by negative 13 will give me 195, but if I add them, it will give me negative 28. So I'm going to use that. So I have 5y squared minus 15y minus 13y plus 39 is equal to 0. So from here, I can go ahead and do my factorization. So between 5y squared and 15y, I can see that 5y is common, so I factor out 5y. Then I have into bracket y minus 3 over here. Then between minus 13y and 39, I can see that minus 13 is common, so I have minus 13 outside bracket. Then into bracket y minus 3, bracket close, is equal to 0. So I have 5y minus 13, and then y minus 3 is equal to 0. From here, I can now equate each of these brackets to 0. It means I have 5y minus 13 is equal to 0, and then y minus 3 is equal to 0. So over here, 5y equals 13, and therefore y is equal to 13 on 5. On the other hand, we have y to be equal to positive 3. So it means that after solving for y, we have two values of y. But note that this is simultaneous equation in two variables, that is x and y. So we have two values for y. So it means we have to get their corresponding x values. So let's do that. So let me use another color. So if y is equal to 13 on 5, okay, then it means the x value from here is equal to 7 minus 2 into bracket 13 on 5. So x will be equal to, if you compute this into your calculator, you're going to get x to be 1.8. Now, if y is equal to 3, then it means that I'm going to have my x to be equal to 7 minus 2 into brackets 3, and that will give me 7 minus 6, and x is equal to 1. So therefore, my answer is s is equal to 1.8 and y is equal to 13.5. Sorry, 13 on 5, or x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 3. You can see that we have two sets of answers over here because one of them is in a form that we are calling a non-linear simultaneous equation form, a non-linear form. So we are having two sets of answers for this particular example. All right, so let's go ahead and solve more examples to appreciate how to solve non-linear simultaneous equation. All right, so we have to solve the following pair of equations. So we have we have k squared plus km is equal to 8. And then we have m is equal to k minus 6. This is equation 1. This is equation 2. Then we have we have x squared minus 2y squared is equal to 8. And then we have x plus 2y is equal to 8. Equation 1, equation 2. All right, so let's go ahead and look at how to solve these two problems. So solution. So I have k squared plus km is equal to 8 as my first equation. I have m is equal to k minus 6 as my second equation. Now, if you look at equation 1 and equation 2, they've already made one of the terms the subject in equation 2, so there's no need you make anything the subject. From here, you can straight away go ahead and say substituting m into equation 1, or substituting equation 2 into equation 1, you are going to have k squared plus k into bracket. The m now becomes k minus 6. This is equal to 8. So from here, let's go ahead and expand the bracket. So I still have k squared here, plus k multiplied by k will give me k squared. K multiplied by negative 6 will give me negative 6k is equal to 8. So k squared will give me 2k squared minus 6k. I bring the 8 to the other side of the equal to sign, it becomes minus 8 equals 0. So over here, I have a quadratic equation, but I can see that these terms can be divided. So I divide both sides by 2, by 2, by 2 to simplify it. So I'm going to have k squared minus 3k minus 4 is equal to 0. So this becomes my quadratic equation that I'm going to factorize. So let me rewrite that here. K squared minus 3k minus 4 is equal to 0. Now the coefficient of the k squared term here is 1. So if I use that 1 to multiply negative 4, I still have negative 4. Now which two numbers will I multiply to get negative 4? But if I add them, I get negative 3. So you see that negative 4, positive 1 will do that for us. So let's go ahead and use that. So negative 4 multiplied by positive 1 will give us negative 4. But if we add them, we get negative 3. So we have here k squared minus 4k plus k minus 4 is equal to 0. So I can factor k out here. So I have k outside bracket, k minus 4, then plus 1 outside bracket, k minus 4 is equal to 0. So I have k plus 1 into bracket, then I bring one of the repeated roots, k minus 4 is equal to 0. So if I equate this guy to the equal to, so I have k plus 1 is equal to 0, or k minus 4 is equal to 0. So over here, I'm going to have k is equal to negative 1, or k is equal to positive 4. Now that we have the k values, note that we need to find the corresponding m values for each of these k's. So when k is equal to negative 1, okay, so when k equals negative 1, let's find the m. So m will be equal to negative 1, which is the k here, minus 6. So m will be equal to what? Negative 7 as our answer. Now let's look at when k is equal to 4. When k is equal to positive 4, we have the m to be equal to 4 minus 6, and then that will give us m to be equal to negative 2. So our solution set is k is equal to negative 1 and m is equal to negative 7, or k is equal to 4 and m is equal to negative 2. So this becomes the answer for the first set of equation. All right, so let's look at the second example that we have over here. So this particular example. So let me get some space. Okay, we have x squared minus 2y squared equals 8. And then we have x plus 2y is equal to 8. This is equation 1 and this is equation 2. All right, so let's go ahead and solve this. So as usual, I want to make my x the subject in equation 2. So I'm going to say making x the subject in equation 2. So if I make x the subject here, I'm going to have x is equal to 8 minus 2y. So I brought the 2y to the other side of the equal to sign, leaving x alone. So from here I can say substituting the value of x, which is 8 minus 2y, into equation 1. So I'm going to have into bracket 8 minus 2y squared minus 2y squared is equal to 8. So this means I have 8 minus 2y, another 8 minus 2y minus 2y squared is equal to 8. So from here, I can go ahead and expand the bracket. So I'll have 8 into bracket 8 minus 2y. Then I use the negative 2y to also multiply the bracket. So negative 2y, 8 minus 2y. And this minus this 2y. So minus 2y squared is equal to 8. All right. So from here, 8 multiplied by 8 will give me 64. 8 multiplied by 2 will give me 16. So I have 16y here. So this is also 16y. The negative 2y multiplied by negative 2y will give me positive 4y squared. Minus the 2y squared over here is equal to 8. So I have here 64, this guy. Negative 16y minus 16y will give me negative 32y. Then I have plus 4y squared minus 2y squared will give me 2y squared is equal to 8. Okay, so from here, let me rearrange this equation. Let me bring 2y squared first. So I'm going to have 2y squared, then minus this 32y, then I write plus 64, and then I'm going to bring this 8 to the other side of the equal to sign, so it becomes minus 8 is equal to 0. So from here I have 2y squared minus 32y. Now 64 minus 8 will give me plus 56. This is equal to 0. Right, so I can see that I can divide through each of the coefficients of the y squared, the y, and then the constant. I can divide through by 2. So let's do that. So if I divide through by 2, 2, 2, and 2, I'm going to have y squared minus 16y, then plus 28 is equal to 0. So now I have a much more easier equation for me to factorize. So let's go ahead and factorize this equation. So let me erase this guy here. Okay, so we have our equation y squared minus 16y plus 28 is equal to 0. I use the coefficient of the y squared term to multiply 28. So 1 multiplied by 28 is 28. Now which two numbers will I multiply to get positive 28? But if I add them, if I add or subtract, I'm going to get negative 16. Alright, so 14 and 2 will do that. So negative 14, negative 2 will give me positive 28, but negative 14 plus negative 2 will give me negative 16. So I have here y squared minus 2y minus 14y plus 28 is equal to 0. So from here I can factor out y. So I have y outside bracket, y minus 2. Then between 14y and 28, I can see that 14 is common, so I have minus 14 into bracket y minus 2 is equal to 0. So from here I have y minus 14 as one of my factors, then I have y minus 2 also as another factor. So from here I equate both of them to 0. I'll get y is equal to 14 or y is equal to positive 2. Now remember that we did make x the subject. So let's find the corresponding x value. Alright, so when y is equal to 14, we said that x was equal to 8 minus 2y. So it means I'll have here 8 minus 2 into bracket 14, and this will give me 8 minus 28, that will give me negative 20. Okay, this is negative 20. So when y is equal to positive 14, x is equal to negative 20. Now when y is equal to 2, I'm going to have x is equal to 8 minus 2 into bracket 2, and this will give me 8 minus 4, and this is equal to 4. So my solution set over here is when x is equal to negative 20, y is equal to 14, or when x is equal to positive 4, y is equal to positive 2. Alright, so before we go, here are some examples for you to try your hands on. I'll be leaving the answers in the description of this video, but I will not solve them. I want you to try your hands on it and leave the answers you've got in the comment section below before you cross-check with the answers I have in the description of the video. Alright, so solve these nonlinear equations, simultaneous equations. So I have x squared plus y squared is equal to 10. Then x plus y is equal to 4. This is equation 1. This is equation 2. Then I have k into bracket k minus m is equal to 12 as equation 1. Then I have k into bracket k plus m is equal to 60 as equation 2. So solve these two equations and then write your answers in the comment section of this video, and I'll be sure to go through and also leave my answers in the description of this video, so you can check it out to make sure that the answers you've obtained for x and y, whether they are correct or not. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.